what starts as a small town high school romance, so cute, turns into 15 months of anonymous threats, police interrogations, and FBI investigations with one very unhinged twist.
And who turned out to be the suspect shocked everyone.
It's a doozy, y'all. Unknown number, the high school catfish is what happens when your whole graduating class is 30 people, your phone won't stop blowing up, and the person tormenting you is way closer than you think. And this isn't just catfishing, this is psychological warfare with unlimited texting.
Yep. We are talking about unknown number, guys. Several people have actually requested that we cover this one, and it is all over the interwebs right now. So we're going to talk about it. And Torella likes to say, get your windows open, get ready to throw your stuff out. I would say get ready to meet your arch nemesis in the parking lot, because I'm ready to fist fight everybody about this. Like, it's wild. It's wild.
I want to say there are no words, but I will proceed to say 2 hours worth of words. So.
Oh, I've got so many words for this.
It's insane.
Yes.
And today's episode takes us to Beale City, Michigan, an unincorporated community in central Michigan. It's a small town, they say. It's got one stoplight, just 2 bars. So they said, it's like everybody knows everybody kind of plays. And that also means everybody knows everybody's business as well. So they said that, like, there's nothing better to do in the town than just sort of walk around and you just talk about other people. You talk about what other people got going on. You talk about other people's business.
Yep.
And one of the teenagers said the parents do that too. Like, they were like, it's not just the kids that talk about each other and what they've got going on. The parents do it too. And it's like this kind of toxic trait that gets passed down from the parents to the children. Also, as is the case with documentaries, so this is on Netflix if you want to watch it. I'm sure you already have, because everybody has.
Yes.
We always get kind of like this round robin of people right up front, and then you kind of get to know them as time goes on. So
yes,
our main characters are Lauryn Licari and Owen McKinney.
Yes.
So they are in high school. They are the targets of this harassment campaign, and their boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then
yes. And they were so precious.
I know, they're so precious. And then Jill and Dave McKinney are Owen's parents. Then we have Kendra and Sean Licari, who are Lauren's parents. We'll have the sheriff, Mike Main. There's Bradley Peter, the FBI liaison. Chloe Wilson. These are just girls at the school. Sophie Weber, Macy Johnston, and then Owen's cousin Adriana. And we'll remind you of all these people shortly. But those are our kind of like main storytellers.
Yes. So we start with Owen, and he, precious little baby, starts talking about when he first got a phone, right? He first got a phone when he was 13 years old. And he was like, I just wanted a phone. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be popular. And I just want to say, kids these days get their phones so early. I couldn't get a phone till I had a car.
Yep.
And it was only for emergencies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it was a Nokia brick phone. So, like, what else were you going to do with that?
So then Owen's like, I want this phone. I want to be popular. I want to fit in with everybody else. And it ended up becoming the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I was like, oh my God, what? Wow. All right. So starting in late 2021, Lauryn and Owen, who had already been dating each other for some time at this point, they start receiving a barrage of vulgar, explicit, and threatening text messages. And they say that there are times they are getting 30 to 50 messages per day. That is insane. Insane.
And they're really yucky. They're sexually explicit.
Mm-hmm.
The gist of them at this point is Owen doesn't want you anymore.
Yeah.
He wants me. He talks bad about you. He plays with my hair.
Yeah.
You're
not giving him what he needs physically.
And I can give him what he needs.
Yeah. And these kids are 13 at the time that this starts. Like, it's nuts. So over the course of 15 months, over a year, guys, over a year this goes on, they continue to get these texts, and they actually do eventually break up because it is too much for both of them. Like, it's relentless, it's hateful, it's unsolicited. Like, they just randomly start getting these messages one day, like out of the blue. Very bizarre. So at this point, the local authorities and the FBI end up working together, and they track down who is behind the messages, and y'all are going to flip your shit when you find out. I mean, I try not to say a lot of bad words when we're recording. I think I'm going to say a lot of them this time. So this is your warning. I've got not nice things to say, and I've got a mic, and so you're all going to hear it.
I fully support it because, like, this is like when we talk about our window open scale, it's like you're going to throw some stuff out the window.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're going to throw your own self out the window. Sometimes you're going to throw yourself out the window, then you're going to come back in, you're going to throw yourself out the window again. And the highest level is Miley Cyrus. You have to take a wrecking ball to everything you know and love, and you must rebuild, and that's where we are.
Yes.
That's just where we are.
100%. And then after you wreck everything, you're going to want to go outside, and you're going to want to wreck everyone that you see because it is rage-inducing.
Yes.
So one of their friends during all of this time, like, they're like, you have to be careful what you say, who's around when you say something, because they can't figure out who's sending these messages initially. And so at that point, everyone becomes a suspect. And you have to remember, there are only 30 people in this classroom. So it becomes like a highly suspicious, like, everyone's paranoid about everyone. Who are you talking to? Who are you sitting with? Did you do something out of the ordinary today? Anytime they're getting these messages that makes reference to anything that happened at school or what's going on, they're like, well, who did I tell? Who would have known that? Who was I around today? Who could have overheard? And, like, the paranoia that these freshmen in high school are feeling is crazy.
It's really sad. And it, we'll end up diving into questions like, what would cause a person to do this? And there's just some really deep, dark stuff that's coming out, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna dive in. And it all started when a friend of Owen's, Chloe Wilson, and she's Chloe like Kardashian with a K.
Yes, she is.
Her family every year would throw this big Halloween party, and everybody came, even the parents, except for whatever reason Lauryn was not invited. I'm not totally sure about that. That whole, like, everybody got along. I'm like,
yeah, but Lauryn and Chloe aren't friends. So we find out more about Lauryn and Chloe later, but the gist of it is that they both play basketball. They're both really into sports, and they're both very competitive, and they're kind of, I don't know that you would say like they're the two best players on the team, but they're kind of like, they're on the same team. I don't think they hate each other, but, like, they kind of have this rivalry. Yeah. And it's embedded in sports.
Yeah. It's
so
strange.
It's strange.
But
again, in a class of 30 people,
yeah.
But
she's also really good friends with Owen, and Owen is dating Lauryn. So I don't know. It feels very like you purposely didn't invite her.
It did seem like that.
But Owen was like, well, if I'm going, Lauryn's going, right?
Yes. And they paint Chloe out. You'll see as we go through this. They paint her out to be the mean girl. They definitely set her up for that. And whether she is or not, I don't know.
She might be a mean girl. Yeah.
I mean, she might be, but she might also not. I feel like by the end of this, it's hard to say with certainty who anybody is in this story, because they have all become so paranoid in this that they're acting in ways that maybe they otherwise wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they're put in this, like, weird pressure cooker situation, and they're all early teens. They don't know how to deal with this. They've never experienced this before. So, like, they don't all handle it well. And I don't think they should be expected to have handled it well, because they're children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lauryn didn't really want to go. And we find out that Lauryn is pretty like, she's shy. She kind of keeps to herself. She would have rather just stay home and just her and Owen hung out anyway. So she was like, I don't need to go to the party. But they go to the party and they start getting text messages from an unknown number. So they start getting these text messages. And the first one says, "Hi, Lauryn. Owen is breaking up with you." And then there were others, again, like same day. "He no longer likes you and hasn't liked you for a while. It's obvious he wants me. He laughs and touches my hair. I'm not sure what he told you, but he is going to the Halloween party and he and I are both DTF. He's 13. I know I can give him what he wants." And then the last one, "Sorry, not sorry."
And so Owen obviously finds out about these messages. I think those messages went to Lauryn. I don't think they went to Owen initially. And so Owen finds out about this and is like, who is sending these messages? And so he asks around. He's like, hey, did you send Lauryn this message? Like, what's going on? And no one seems to know where the messages came from. And then the messages just stop.
Yeah. And at this point, they think it's just somebody trying to play a prank on them. Like, weird joke, but like, okay.
Like, yeah. Like, it's Halloween prank, blah, blah, blah. She wasn't invited. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's almost a year later. So, like, these happen at this party and then nothing, right? So then almost a year later, the messages start back up. And again, out of the blue, nobody knows why. They just start getting them one day, right? But at that time, Owen and Lauryn were described as, quote, the golden couple in school. Everyone thought that they would be together forever. They'd get married, live happily ever after. Let's keep in mind these kids are in high school. Says someone who married the guy she dated in high school, but that's not the point.
I was like, this is crazy. They're so young. Why do you assume they get married? But yeah, I guess you did that.
Some people do, Torella.
I know you did do that.
I did do that.
Thank God I didn't do that. I'd be in a world of hurt. So,
ooh, listen, it's worked out for me so far.
Yeah.
Okay, but
you gotta be smart about it.
I would not make that an overarching recommendation. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so the new messages that they start getting basically called them out for being like this perfect couple, right? And they would say things like, some of us don't want to hear it anymore. Like basically just attacking them for being happy. I don't know. It's very strange. And then, of course, the messages continue and they say things like, Owen loves me and I will always be the girl he loves. He will be with me while your lonely, ugly ass is alone. It was apparent from the start that they were basically trying to get them to break up, right? But there was also no reason for it. Like, this, again, was just out of the blue that somebody was just like, hey, I think they should break up. So I'm going to start sending them hateful messages.
But one day she comes home. She's very, very upset. And she said before she would just she's just like, okay, somebody's being mean, like whatever. So she comes home, she's really upset, and her dad's like, hey, what's going on? Like something's going on, whatever. And so she tells her parents about the text messages that she's getting, and she gives them some details about it. And she said, her mom was just like, look, obviously you're beautiful. Like, don't worry about it. Somebody's just trying to be mean, like really encouraging. And they were like, look, just don't read them. Like, it's not true, whatever. But then the messages began to escalate. And then they start calling her an ugly ass bitch, an ugly MF. This is where it gets real yucky. Owen, oh my God. Owen and I down to suck finger.
Okay. Over time, the texts, remember, these texts are relentless, sometimes between 30 and 50 per day, just from this one person. They start to make Lauryn doubt herself and her relationship with Owen. So they got to the point of saying that this person's hanging out with Owen, and Lauryn, it starts to create a rift between them, right? Because now Lauryn doesn't trust Owen. And honestly, like, they're preying on this paranoia. Like, you already are suspicious of everybody. You don't trust anybody. You probably don't trust yourself at this point, because why is this happening and who am I talking to? Like, I'm only confiding in my closest friends, and yet somehow this is still happening. Anyway, the psychological warfare is insane. It gets more insane.
Really sad. Like, it's really sad because she, like, on one hand, she knows that this person is just making up, right? But over time, she starts to wonder, and Owen's like, but that's not true. Like, I'm not hanging out with anybody else, like, whatever. But I mean, it's psychological warfare. They're getting in her head. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's the thing about psychological warfare is it's effective. That's why we do it. And I say we, I mean, like, it is a tactic in warfare. Yeah. You just don't expect it to be used against teenage kids who are dating in high school, because why would you?
Because
why would you spend this much effort?
Exactly. Like, a lot of effort.
We'll get to it. It's fine though. So eventually they both are doubting each other. They're paranoid. Like, their relationship's starting to fall apart, because how could it not at this point, right? And so they eventually talk, and Owen says that maybe if they just give the texter what they want, which would be them breaking up, the messages will stop. And Lauryn is devastated. And she says that basically overnight they stopped talking. Her and Owen, the person that she's been friends with for forever, that has been her boyfriend since 7th grade, now we just don't talk. Because this unknown person has made us distrust ourselves and each other and everyone around us, to the point that we can no longer do this.
It's just sad. It's so sad. So they're like, okay, well, maybe if we break up, this person's going to stop because they got what they wanted. Yeah. Well, no, that's not what happened. The messages continued, and they get even worse, because why not? So they're still calling Lauryn ugly and saying stuff like, nobody's going to want your flat ass. Nobody wants your flat. I think even she said, like, tits, like.
Yeah.
Just really disgusting stuff about a child. And telling her to kill herself, that she's super ugly, nobody cares about her, she just should, all of these things.
Yeah.
And Lauryn was in shock when she read those, and she said mentally she was in a super bad place. And so they're continuing to do this investigation. The school is trying to do it, but they're not finding anything. They're checking the security footage, they're doing what they can, but they don't find anything. So they end up contacting the police, and this is 15 months into the messages. So
I just want to say, 15 months before we contact the police. And I will say the parents were doing everything they could within their power. I believe that the school was doing everything they could in their power as well. But 15 months, if this goes on for more than 2 weeks, I'm calling the police. I'm raising hell. I'm not standing for this.
Yeah,
not for 15 months. Like, that is wild to me. And I get, like, maybe you don't know what to do. You feel like your hands are tied. You feel like you're trying. But, like, the second that I see either of my children's mental health start to deteriorate over something like this, I'm going to raise the earth.
Yeah. So,
at this point, though, Sheriff Maine says they've got over 1,000 pages of messages. That is insane. He has this giant ass 3-ring binder, and he has, like, printed off text messages. 1,000 pages. So in one, there was a picture sent to Owen and Lauryn, and it was from Owen's family Christmas morning. So at this point, Owen and Lauryn, like, their families are still hanging out, right? So, and it's Owen that's looking at it. He's, like, looking at a new phone case or something like that, I guess, that he got for Christmas. The only family member from their class who would have been at this Christmas morning to be able to take this picture was his cousin, Adriana. So Adriana was also on the volleyball team with Chloe and her friends. And Adriana says, if you weren't friends with them, meaning Chloe, Sophie, and what was the other girl's name? Macy, maybe, that you were considered an outsider. And if you were an outsider, they weren't nice to you. So people, because of this message, immediately start to think that Adriana is out here trying to frame Chloe because she's an outsider. She says Chloe's not nice to you if you're not friends with her, like that kind of thing, right? So they're like, oh, obviously you've got some motive to set her up. Mm-hmm. So Sheriff Maine goes to speak with her, and she's like, I didn't take that picture. I don't know who sent it. And after she speaks with the sheriff, detective, whatever, him. After she speaks with Maine, she says that every time she comes into a room, everyone is now looking at her like she's guilty. So everyone, because again, this is a small school, everyone knows that she would have been at this Christmas event. She would have been the only one in their class who would have been there. So who else would do it? Mm-hmm. And she's telling the sheriff it wasn't her. Like, okay. So they're all like, yeah, we're on to you. But then Adriana starts getting messages from this unknown number. And they tell her that she needs to help get Lo away from Owen. And so Adriana immediately like freaks out. She starts crying. She's like, now I'm involved in this. Like, people already thought I'm guilty. Now I'm getting messages and they're trying to like rope me into this whole debacle. Yeah. Like this scandal, I guess we'll call it, literally knows no bounds. Like, exactly. Nobody is safe. It just keeps escalating. If your name gets brought into the circle, you get brought all the way into the circle. Like, it's nuts. And by the spring of 2022, the messages were a constant thing for Owen and Lauryn and their families. And so now everyone is tense. Like, there's tension between the families. There's tension between Lauryn and Owen and Adriana now. Like, friends don't trust each other. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So Lauryn's family begins to struggle. They're fighting. They have sleepless nights. They lose their job. They're having financial struggles. At one point, they say in 2 years, they had to move 4 times. That's basically every 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And of course, Lauryn is like, I don't want to go to school. Like, school is hell on earth for her. Why would she ever want to go?
That's just terrible.
And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah.
So Sheriff Maine reaches out to the FBI cybercrimes unit, and he's like, here's everything I have on the case, okay? He meets with Bradley Peter, who's the FBI liaison, and they do a full phone extraction of Owen's phone just to see, is there anything on there that could maybe lead us to who this person is, any contact with them that might stand out or something that maybe he didn't pick up on or something. But they don't really find any leads from it. Now, by this point, Owen had started to date a new girl from Pinconning, Michigan. Mm-hmm. And after talking for a while, she texts him and says, hey, my mom just got a random text from an unknown number. He said it was the same format, same words, telling them to back off of Owen. And he said he just felt like he was losing trust in everyone. And like, how did this person get this girl's mom's phone number? Like, that's
no idea.
Pretty insane. But they end up breaking up as well. It's just too much. And like, understandably so.
And he says too, he's like, I didn't want to put her through what Lauryn already went through. Mm-hmm. And like, obviously he didn't want Lauryn to go through what she went through, but he was like, knowing how bad this has gotten, I'm not going to do this to somebody else.
No, it's got to stop. So Bradley Peter, the FBI agent, keeps going on with his investigation, and he looks into the phone numbers that are sending the messages, and he tracks one down to being owned by Pinger, an app that people can use to disguise their phone numbers. So he files a search warrant and gets that for Pinger. Mm-hmm. He wants the information linked to that number. And so they tell him it's linked to 2 different IP addresses with Verizon. So then he submits a warrant to Verizon, and he gets the search warrant results back, including phone numbers that would have been attached to those 2 particular IP addresses. Peter ends up talking with Jill and asked her to give him any phone number for anyone that was suspected to be behind the messages, any friends. So like, she gets numbers from Owen for his friends. None of those matched. And then she was like, we just contact dumped every contact any of us had on our phone. We gave it to them. And there was one particular phone number that kept coming up as being connected to the IP addresses when those messages were sent. And we're going to tell you who that is in episode 2 because we already talked for an hour.
Yeah. And you're not ready.
No.
If you haven't watched the documentary and you don't know the answer to this, you're not ready.
Yeah, you're absolutely not ready. Now, if you are a patron, you can literally push stop on this one and push play on part 2. It's ready for you. Yes. But if you're not a patron, that is okay. And you have the self-control to wait a week, then you can do that. And this this part 2 will come out next Tuesday as our weekly release.
Yes.
But otherwise, we'll either see you right now for part 2 if you're a patron or next week if you're not.
We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.